Breed for Change is a pioneering research project aiming to reduce the carbon footprint of sheep farming through selective breeding. By understanding how and why sheep vary in the methane they produce, we are now able to breed animals that are naturally emit less while leaving more to farmers' pockets through a new selection index.
We need to lower emissions, improve efficiency, and strive for better sustainability. And the selection index and other data this project is producing are great positive steps towards that. This project is funded through DEFRA and Innovate UK's Farming Innovation Programme. We're involving farmers and breeds from across the country.
Like most sheep farmers, our biggest driver is profit and production efficiency. And the great thing about being involved in this project is that methane and low carbon footprint kind of go hand in hand with that.
So to have the most impact in assessing genetic merit for lower emissions, we need to measure the performance of individual animals and know what families they're from. Once we know that information, we can estimate how much genetic advantage is passed on to their offspring. We can also add to that some modern DNA tests.
Sheep breeds and breed societies can benefit from the data being collected through the Breed for Change project. For example, they can then incorporate these new genetic parameters and selection indexes into their own breeding values. That can also help in terms of their sustainability credentials for their own flocks and their own breed societies.
There is scepticism in the industry about methane, but there's also established variation in the amount of methane that individual sheep produce. So we know we can get gains here that aren't going to affect productivity and are going to reduce the environmental impacts, the negative impacts associated with methane emissions. There's everything to be gained from this.
Pack measuring is measuring methane outputs from individual sheep. Initially, at the beginning of the project, I was a bit sceptical about using pack measurements to create a breeding value for a low carbon footprint animal. But so far there's been quite a variation in data. Animals with very low methane output compared with very high methane output per kilogram of lamb produced. So that's really good because then we can easily breed for animals that are better.
PRLB have been looking at worm resistance because of the international issue that it is, and we just felt that this was vital for this project. So we've been looking at FEC and IGA, and we've generated an awful lot of data, and we've been getting really brilliant heritabilities for both FEC and IGA up to 0.4, and we'll be able to try and relate that to all the other traits that we've been looking at within the wider project.
I feel like the farmers that will be most excited by this are those that are breeding replacement stock, really because they'll have another string to their bow in terms of market value for that stock. They've got another estimated breeding value, they've got more environmentally focused credentials that they can sell their stock for, but it also helps benefit the wider sector because we're populating the genetics further down the stratified sheep sector.
So it's allowed me to use DNA parentage throughout the flocks and using the EBVs then to select the animals that have got the best resistance against worms. So within the Dorset breed, I produce a fair few rams and sold to different breeders and commercial buyers, and some of them think it's absolutely nuts what we're doing. I think it's really important to be involved in this sort of thing and get the efficiency right.
Well, we're increasingly seeing the retail and supply chain taking an interest in the environmental footprint of livestock production. And so it's natural that we're going to need those tools.
The need for a carbon efficient animal is there already and will only increase over time.
The nice thing about environmental indexes is that they're going to be quite closely aligned to the work we've already done when it comes to improving flock profitability. Traits like number of lambs successfully reared, reductions in days to slaughter, increasing ewe longevity are all key areas that will also improve profitability as well as helping us to hit our environmental goals. But we're going to see, and we have already seen, a lot more information about ewe weight, body condition score coming through for our analyses. But one of the fascinating new traits is the ability to measure methane. So the information is going to be really easy to find. It's all going to be hosted on the Cygnet website. So if you put in the UK ministry number of the animal, then you'll promptly be shown information about the genetic merit of those animals for these new environmental traits.
It's actually be quite nice to have some true figures behind it to see how much it is actually impacting.
We genuinely think that processors and retailers will be excited by the outcomes of the project. This is a tool to enable their supply chains to be carbon neutral very quickly, and it enables the industry to be competitive on the shelves.
People will be able to utilise it and select for it if they want to. And that's how we'll look at it, as very much part of the whole group of traits that we look at.
Makes me think that we can still have a really efficient ewe that is going to produce what we need to and be able to have low methane count as well.
Ultimately, the Breed for CH4nge project not only provides us with data towards producing productive, resilient sheep, but also helps us face those environmental challenges and political challenges that we're being tasked with in terms of the UK sheep sector going forward.
Hopefully people can see that this is an approach that can be adopted by any breed across the industry and can be integrated into sensible supply chains. For more information, visit these websites. We've also made another video that has a lot more information of how the project works and how we've made the selection index.